Did you eat at work? Mom asked, stacking plates without looking at me. I texted I was on late shift. I said, you said you'd save me a plate. Dad clicked the TV louder. You're capable. Make something quick. Sawyer didn't glance up from the couch. She likes lists. She can list the ingredients. I am tired, I said, setting my bag down. Where's my notebook? Sawyer stretched, the remote balanced on his stomach. Borrowed a few pages. Application stuff. You tore it out. I held up the frayed spiral. Those were my annotated notes. Mom wiped a clean counter. Tamsin. It is paper. It is ours, I said. Color codes. References. I need them for tomorrow's review. Dad finally looked over. Your tone is unnecessary. My work matters. I said. Sawyer laughed softly. You're not curing cancer. Relax. I work 2 jobs. I said. I pay my part on time. Dad's jaw set. Do not keep score. I do now, I said, tucking the broken notebook into my bag. Mom tried a smile that did not reach me. We rely on you because you are reliable. Say thank you. I said. Silence. The TV hummed. Sawyer took the last soda from the table and held it up like a trophy. Put that back, I said. It is family, he said, cracking it open, shared resources. Dad nodded. Exactly. I breathed through the burn in my chest. Say you will not touch my desk again. Sawyer popped the tab fully and drank. No promises. Mom's voice went soft. Honey, you are so good at letting things go. I am good at doing things right, I said. That is different. Dad stood, remote in hand like a small baton of authority. Enough. You are making a scene. I am making a record, I said. Sawyer snorted. Of what I zipped my bag, slid my phone into my pocket, and opened the Notes app. Dates, times, small proofs. The habit began there, under a bright screen and a dull room quiet, precise, and mine. The house spoke in shrugs. I started keeping receipts. Sawyer was at the table when I came in, my notebook open under his elbow, pages missing like pulled teeth. Move, I said. He did not. Borrowed a few. Deadline. For what application? They want examples. Your notes are tidy. I slid the spiral from under him. They were mine for tomorrow. Mom walked in with grocery bags. Tamsin, can you not start? I am finishing, I said, holding up the ragged edge. He tore out my annotations. Sawyer shrugged. Rewrite them. Dad entered behind her. What is the problem now? She needs control, Sawyer said. It is a hobby. My work is not a hobby, I said. Say you should have asked. He chewed the inside of his cheek, amused. I should have asked. Say you will not do it again. Depends, he said. Mom set a hand on my arm. Sweetheart, you know your brother struggles with structure. I gave him a planner last month. I said, he is trying. She said, so am I. I said, every day. Dad took the torn pages from the trash like evidence already ruled on. It is paper. It is ours. I said, it is a test. It is the difference between pay bumps and more nights. Sawyer leaned back. You will still pass. Say you are sorry. I said. He tilted his head, weighing nothing. Sorry you are mad. That is not an apology, I said. Dad's voice hardened. Enough. The house does not revolve around your standards. It revolves around his comfort, I said. Mom tried to laugh it off. Let us have dinner, peace, please. Then tell him to leave my desk alone, I said. It is family space. Dad said, not my drawers, I said. Sawyer stood, chair scraping. You want a lock? Buy one. I will, I said. He smiled, victorious for no reason I respected. Great, problem solved. Not yet, I said, pocketing the broken spiral. But I am getting there. I found my drawer open again, pens scattered like dropped bones. Close it, I said. Sawyer didn't move. Relax, I needed a charger. You have your own. He grinned without humor. Mine is lost, yours is here. Mom looked up from her phone. Do not start. I am asking for a boundary, I said, taking the charger from his hand. Dad muted the TV. Tamsin, you are always tense. I am always being borrowed from, I said. Sawyer leaned back on the couch. Arms wide. Borrowing is family. Consent is family, I said. He laughed, small and cruel. You are exhausting. I put the charger in my pocket, then stopped taking what is mine. He sat forward. You are not the sheriff. You are not special. You are the one who does chores and fusses about notes. Mom's smile tried to stretch into a truce. Everyone breathe. I am breathing, I said. Dad pointed the remote at me like a case closed. Tone. Sawyer's eyes slid to Mom, then Dad, testing the air. He found what he wanted and stood. Here it is, he said, voice low enough to feel mean. You do not belong. The words hit like a door slamming. I felt my hands go cold before I noticed I had clenched them. Say that again, I said, steady. He obliged, pleased. You do not belong. He looked at our parents. They did not flinch. Dad nodded once. Slow. This is not your house forever. Mom's throat tightened on a breath. She kept her eyes down and still managed a nod. I heard the refrigerator hum. The rest of the room didn't seem to bother with sound. Thank you, I said. Sawyer blinked. For what? For finishing the sentence you have been hinting at for years. He scoffed. Play the victim. See if anyone claps. I am not performing, I said. I am deciding. Dad set the remote down. No one is throwing you out. You just did, I said. You made a rule. I am following it. Mom's voice thinned. Tamsin, it is late. You are tired. Do not make drama. I am making a list. I said. It has dates and names and that sentence. Sawyer smirked. Write my name twice. I do not need to. I said. It is already everywhere. He stepped closer. Belly out swagger. Go ahead. Pack. See if anyone chases you. I looked at Mom. She looked at the floor. I looked at Dad. He looked at the blank TV. Okay, I said. Sawyer spread his arms like a game show host. Finally. I went to my room. I did not slam the door. I pulled the small lockbox from the closet, slid my documents into a folder, and zipped the bag I had pretended I would never use. In the hall, the TV came back to life. A laugh track spilled over the carpet. I lifted the bag, tested the weight, and turned off the light. I set the bag by the door. Mom appeared first, hands empty. Where are you going? She asked. You said it already. I said, I do not belong. That is not what we meant. Dad came in behind her. You are being dramatic. It is not drama to leave a place that agrees I should. Sawyer leaned in the hallway. You forgot your charger. Keep it, I said. Consider it a receipt. Mom's voice thinned. Stay tonight. We will talk tomorrow. You had tonight, I said, lifting the strap. You used it. Dad blocked the knob. You do not walk out of this house angry. I am not angry, I said. I am done. He held my stare a beat too long, then stepped aside like he was granting permission. Outside, my phone buzzed. I called Maribel. You okay? She asked. I need a couch. Come, she said. I will leave the chain on, knock 3 times. When I reached her place, she opened the door in scrubs, hair braided back. You can have the couch or the floor, she said. Pick one and sleep. I will clean up in the morning, I said. You will sleep, she said, pulling a blanket from a chair. Rules first. I sat. My hands would not stop shaking. She noticed and looked away on purpose. Anything else, she asked. I nodded. I need to write something down. Do it, she said, then lights off. I opened my notes and typed, slow and careful, I do not fund people who will not own harm. Maribel set a glass of water by my knee. You can stay as long as you need, she said. I will pay rent. I said. Later, she said. Right now you sleep and keep your rules. My phone started before the sun. One buzz, Then a chorus. Maribel rolled over. You need me to toss it in the freezer. I need to let it speak. I said. The lock screen stacked names. Home, Dad, Mom, then Sawyer, then again. A voicemail dropped. Then another. I did not press play. Maribel watched me not move. You good, I am steady, I said, though my thumb hovered like a bad habit. Text from Mom, call when you wake up. We need to talk. Text from Dad, answer. Text from Sawyer. Pick up. Maribel sat up, braid a line down her shoulder. You want coffee or silence? Silence, I said, and a screenshot. I scrolled and captured the list, 21 missed calls. The image felt like a ledger. Mom finally texted what the others would not say. Please, it is serious. I typed 3 words. What is it? The dots appeared. Vanished. Returned. Your brother screwed up. We need you. Maribel raised an eyebrow. Need you, how they do not say, I said. She handed me the blanket I had kicked off. What do your rules say? I opened the notes I wrote last night and read the line out loud. I do not fund people who will not own harm. Maribel nodded. Then breathe and make them use nouns, not smoke. I typed again. What happened? Be specific. Another pause. Then he was arrested. Please call. I stared at the word arrested until it stopped vibrating. Then I put the phone face down and let the room be quiet enough to hear my own yes and no. I called Mom first. She answered on the first ring. He is in holding, she said without hello. Downtown station. What happened? I said. He took something, she said, from the arcade off Meeting Street, the old machines, the cash drawer. Dad's voice cut in from her side. They have cameras. It looks worse than it is. So there is video? I said. Angles. Dad said. Confusing angles. Is he safe? I said. He is loud, Mom said. He is scared, Maribel mouthed. Speaker. I nodded and put the call on the table. What do you need from me? I said. Dad exhaled like I should have known. Bail is $10,000. Silence opened and waited. Mom rushed in. We can cover some. Your father spoke to a bondsman, but our credit. Your home equity line is maxed, I said. Dad bristled. We have assets. Boat title dispute. I said, no collateral. He paused, then steadied his voice. We need a signer. Someone with clean credit and steady income. You mean me? I said. You have W-2 income, Mom said quickly. You are responsible? They said a co-signer with pay stubs. Could Maribel raised a hand, and I kept listening. Charges, I said. Dad hesitated. Felony theft. First offense, Mom said. He is good at heart. Prior warnings, I said. School resource officer. You told me you signed something last year. That was different. Mom said, boys make mistakes. Men too. Dad said, the point is to bring him home and fix this. What is Sawyer saying? I said. Dad's jaw worked in his silence. He says it was a prank. Friends dared him. He says the drawer was open. CCTV says otherwise. I said. Mom's voice thinned. Tamsin, please, we need you. Need me or see me? I said. She swallowed audibly. Both. Maribel leaned closer to the phone. This is Tamsin's friend. Do you have the docket number? Dad bristled again. Who is this? The person with a pen, Maribel said. Docket number. Paper rustled. Mom read a string of numbers slowly. Maribel wrote, then slid her pad to me. Call, legal aid. I know a clinic, I said. Colleagues at the hospital volunteer there. Dad heard the word clinic and pounced. Good, call them. We will meet you at the station with the bond paperwork. That is not what I said. I said, silence again. I will contact legal aid. I said, I will get you names, hours, and what documents you need. I will not put my name on a bond. Mom broke fast. We will pay you back. Every cent. You have said that before, I said. Dad's voice sharpened. This is about family. Last night was also about family. I said. You nodded. That was heat, he said. This is law. I kept my tone even. My rule is simple. I do not fund people who will not own harm. He will apologize, Mom said, too quick. To me or to a judge? I said. Both, she said. We will make him. Maribel shook her head once. I watched her and chose. I will text the clinic's number and what you need to gather. I said. Employment letters, tax returns, anything that shows stability. I will not sign. Dad's breath came through his teeth. You will let your brother sit in a cell. I will help him face what he did. I said. That is different. Mom's voice went small. Please come to the station, just to sit with us. I can meet you outside. I said, I will bring a list. We do not need lists. Dad snapped. You need receipts. I said, I have those. We met at Colonial Lake, on a bench that faced the water but did not insist on it. Dad arrived first, phone in his fist like a warrant. Mom trailed him, eyes red, hair pinned too tight. Dad started without greeting. We lost the magistrate window. If we move now, he could be out tonight. I brought a list. I said, handing him a single sheet. Documents legal aid will ask for. Employment letters. Last 2 years of returns, proof of residence. He skimmed, annoyed. We need a signature more than stationery. You need accountability more than either. I said, Mom sat. We are sorry. Tamsin. For what I said. For last night, she said. For minimizing. For letting Sawyer Dad cut in. We do not have time to catalog feelings. We do. I said. I require it. He laughed once. No humor. You require, yes, I said. Terms and conditions. Mom leaned forward. Please, tell us. First, I said. You will post an apology in the family group chat, not the 4 of us. The extended one with aunts, uncles, cousins. You will pin it. You will name specifics. Years of minimizing. The torn notes. The sentence from last night. Dad went still. You want a spectacle. I want a record. I said, second, each of you will send a voice note. Your voices, not text. No euphemisms. Use the words we have danced around. Mom nodded, small but immediate. I can do that. Dad stared at the list like it might bleed. This is coercion. This is a boundary with a door. I said. Third, Sawyer will write an admission. No jokes. No just paper. He will name what he did at the arcade and what he did to me. He will send it to the same chat. Mom clasped her hands. He will fight it. He can fight the charge with a lawyer. I said, He cannot fight my money. Dad's jaw clicked. And if we agree, I will not sign a bond. I said, that rule holds. But I will walk you through legal aid, draft letters, gather documents, sit with you in court. I will help him face it. Not escape it. He bristled. You enjoy this. I enjoy breathing without begging. I said, Mom touched my sleeve. If we do this, you will help. I already am. I said. Dad paced 3 steps, came back, and spoke like chewing on gravel. You would make us perform our shame. I would make you document your truth, I said, so it does not go missing the next time someone needs convenience. He looked at Mom, Lenore. She wiped her face. I will record mine tonight. He turned his glare on the lake, then on me. Pinned message, voice notes, Sawyer's admission, and no hedges. I said, no if or but. He pocketed my list like contraband. You will get your record. I will get a start. I said. Mom stood. Can you meet us at the house when it is posted? I will meet you on the sidewalk. I said. Dad's mouth tightened. We will be in touch. We already are, I said, and rose first. The group chat dinged. A new message was pinned by Dad. Dad, we owe Tamsin an apology. We minimized her work and enabled Sawyer. We nodded when we should have intervened. That was wrong. Mom, we ignored boundaries for years. We dismissed her, called her difficult, and let Sawyer take from her. We are sorry. Cousin Renee reacted with a heart. Aunt Delia typed, "About time." 2 voice notes arrived. I put in earbuds. Dad's voice was flat but clear. "I dismissed you because it was easier than confronting him. I taught you to carry more than your share. I am sorry." Mom's was shaky. "I covered for Sawyer because I was scared he would explode. I asked you to be the adult. I am sorry." Another ping. "Sawyer." "Okay, look. I messed up. It was just paper with you and a dumb dare at the arcade. People overreacted. I am stressed." I typed, "Try again." "Name what you did." He replied, "I took your notes." I shouldn't have. The drawer was open at the arcade and I grabbed it. I was not thinking. Dad typed, "Send the admission as a separate message." "Sawyer, no jokes." Sawyer sent it again. Cleaner. Then added, "This feels like a trial." Cousin Renee, "It is accountability." I saved the thread as receipts repair. I texted Mom and Dad, "Thank you for the voice notes." Dad wrote back, "You will help now." "I am helping." I replied, "Legal aid number below. Hours attached. Documents needed in a second text." Mom's dots blinked. "Thank you." "I am trying." I listened to her voice note again. She had said, "Asked you to be the adult." The words lodged and stayed. A new banner slid over the screen collect call from Charleston County Detention Center. Sawyer's name followed in parentheses. I watched the timer count down, felt my breath find an even beat, and let the first ring pass. Then I pressed accept. A click. Then tinny air. "Tamsin, thank God," Sawyer said. "They are railroading me. I heard your admission." I said, "Both of them. That was for Mom." He said, "You and Dad pushed it." "Look, just cover the bond. I will pay you back. My rule stands." I said, "I do not fund people who will not own harm." "I owned it." He snapped, "Twice. You named facts." I said, "You did not own what it cost. It cost nothing." He said, "It was paper, and the drawer was barely closed. It cost my hours." I said, "It cost the worker at the arcade their sense of safety. It cost Mom her sleep." He went quiet, then tried soft. "I am your brother. I am not your wallet." I said, "Dad says you are grandstanding." He said, "Dad can be wrong." I said. He shifted, metal clinking somewhere off the line. "Fine. What do you want me to say? Say you took because you felt entitled." I said, "Say you treated me as storage. Say you will face the charge without asking me to erase it. You want me to rot." He said, "I want you to stop shifting the bill." I said, "I have a number for legal aid. They can triage your case today." "You would give me a phone number, but not $10,000. He said, "Yes." I said. He laughed, raw. "You always thought you were better." I thought I was tired. I said, "A beat." His voice dropped. "I am scared." "I believe you." I said, "Write that sentence to the family chat. Ask Dad to bring clothes and meds. Call legal aid at 9. "You are not coming?" he asked. "I will sit in the courtroom when it opens." I said, "I will not sign. Breath through wire. You do not belong." He muttered, smaller now. "I belong to myself." I said, "And let the line release." The studio key turned with a clean click. I set my phone to a new focus mode and named it Belonging. Maribel stepped in behind me with a box. "Mugs and a pan. You own breakfast now. I will pay you back this week." I said, "You will breathe this week," she said, placing the box down. "Bills can wait one day." My phone buzzed once. A text from Mom. "I am trying." I saved it to a folder titled Receipts Repair. Maribel opened the window. "Court in the morning, I will sit in the gallery." I said, "Legal aid has his intake at 9. "You good alone tonight?" she asked. "I am good with quiet," I said. She hugged me quick. "Practical. Call if you need a witness." "I have one," I said, tapping the focus icon. "Me." When the door clicked shut, the room held still. I set out 2 mugs, turned off the overhead light, and let the quiet belong to me.